may pretend, but if we pretend that we are acting, this acting style never even begin. Acting is real, but so is faking. And there are fakings that seem off when we dance. Reality sucks, and so does acting. But here we are in the blind eyes. I'm at that professional actor. Never on the street I just you. I have so many things to tell you. So be ready for your mind to be filled. Acting is wrong, and life is a joke. You can't ever follow when I'm acting smoke. This is a race. I am no teacher, so tell me, what do I need to do for inspiration?
Hello everyone, my name is Connor Ratliff, and this is Connor Ratliff Presents the Acting Class. It is a fully improvised one-person show that pretends to be a real acting class. I want to thank you all for coming out. It is the most inhospitable weather in which to come out for this, which makes me believe that the people here in attendance tonight are perhaps the most serious about acting in all of New York City, which means you are among the most serious about acting in the world. And I look forward to talking to a few of you. Let me just start out the way I always begin these classes. I want to find out who among you identifies as an actor and who identifies as a non-actor. I will say you do have to choose one or the other. There are always people who don't raise their hand to either question because they feel that will protect them as an audience member from having to participate. I'm telling you, your odds go up. If I see hands staying down for both questions, I am curious as to what you think you are. So who here among us, and I also want to, because people don't understand this question when I ask it, if you have ever acted in a play, in a film, it doesn't have to have been for money. It can have been in an academic setting, it can be at camp, it can be in a workplace skit. If you have gotten up in front of people and pretended to be a character, I'm going to count you as an actor, even if it was the shortest of careers imaginable. Who here identifies as an actor based on that standard? All right? Almost everyone. I would expect that. I would expect that. As hot, as rainy, as miserable as it is, for a non-actor to come to this would be a truly fascinating piece of behavior. So let's see who among you do not identify as actors. All right. Now, I will notice the hands were much less theatrical. And I don't mean fanboy. I mean, like, the actors, like, made sure they were seen. The non-actors kind of went. Is there a non-actor here who, you know what, I'm gonna wait on it. I'm not gonna start with a non-actor. But think about it, think about your comfort level. Think about what you came here tonight to achieve. Think about what you want from your own life and what you'd like to learn about yourself. And when I pose the question later in the show, be ready to either raise your hand or keep it completely down because it will be looking. I want to talk to one of the actors. Who here is an actor who is currently working as an actor for money? Anyone for money? No one working for money? You're working for money. I knew someone here had to be working for money right now. There's always one, statistically. What is your first name?
Gotham.
What?
Gotham, like that answer.
Gotham. Your first name is Gotham?
Yes, it's spelled different.
Spelled, how is it spelled? Because I know how they spell, I know how Batman, I know how Bruce Wayne, I know how Commissioner Gordon, they all spell it the same way. G-O-T-H-A-M. You spell it differently.
G-A-U-T-A-M.
G-A-U-T-A-M?
Yeah, it's the first name of butler, but I'm not butlers.
Okay, so this is not like a cool stage name that you've adopted. You were born with a very cool name. Different spelling, but you also have a cultural touchstone. When people are like, how do I say this? You're like, everybody knows Batman. So I imagine this is not the first time you've said this. It's a great shorthand. Are you a fan of the Batman series.
Very much so, yes.
Would you like to play Batman?
Sure.
No, I'm not offering tonight. The stage is not. This is not. I should have been careful. An actor comes here, there's always the possibility of a job offer, not in this show. I'm just curious. Who do you think, because that's many people have played Batman, many different physical types and personality types. Do you think you'd be good casting as Batman? Being honest, as an actor.
As an actor, yes. Physically, they'll probably need to change the suit a little bit.
They have to do that. Every Batman has a different suit.
Well, in the midsection.
You just, if you have a midsection problem, they just puff out the chest, I assume. You just balance everything out. And anyone looks good in a tuxedo, so is Bruce Wayne. Who do you think, realistically, you would be cast as? You know how the industry works. Who do you think you would be cast as? If, let's say, there's a new iteration of the adventures of Bruce Wayne and Batman every few years.
Yeah.
Let's say there's another one coming down the road. Who do you think realistically would be your a character you would be cast as that you would be happy with in Batman?
Butler.
What?
The butler there.
Alfred, the butler.
Alfred.
How did you ever have a butler in life?
Something of the sort.
Interesting answer. Because I have an answer for this question, which is no. I've never had a butler. But you paused, you thought about it, and you said, something of the sort. And that makes me wonder, what is like a butler, but not a butler? There can't be very many things that would make someone, because most people, if you've had a butler, and you're asked this, the only reason to pause would be perhaps shame.
Yes.
Shame at, yes, I have had a butler. But you said something of the sort. I like the way you're doling out the information to me. It's very good storytelling, Doc. What do you mean when you say you've had something of the sort?
I grew up in India and I had help.
You had help. There was staff. Your family had some people who worked in your home.
Yes.
And did you ever have a relationship with any of them personally? Did you ever have a personal connection with
Oh,
them?
absolutely. They were family.
They were family.
Yeah. If not, they would kill us.
So you have a lot. This is a lot to draw on. Like, if you were in the conversation where you're in the running for Alfred, this is the kind of thing I want to tell you that intrigues filmmakers, intrigues casting people. Do not shy away from using your own story to try to nag that role. Because they're going to be, how old are you?
51.
51. I'm about to turn 50, so you and I are basically the same age if we're rounding. If we're rounding, you and I are the same age. I round a little up. I round like a month up. And you round down, get back to 50. We could both be up for the role of Alfred realistically. We could be waiting in that waiting room when Alfred rolls around. But I would say, because there's nothing, I don't think there's any such thing as too old to get considered for Alfred. As long as you're still auditioning for things. A very old Alfred is very plausible. So I think you and I could have as many as 8 to 19 shots at this. I don't know how the industry's going, but I don't think it's unrealistic to think we could get 8 more chances. We could both end up being Alfreds at different points.
I agree.
What do you think that you would bring to Alfred that you haven't seen before in a previous Alfred? What's something that you think my Alfred would be different?
Diversity.
Diversity, yes. I would be just another white Alfred. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not afraid to play that card if it'll book me the role. I won't be proud of it. I'll admit there'll be an element of shame if I'm one of the Alfreds and you haven't booked it yet. I'll be like, ugh, Gotham should really be playing this. Probably a more interesting choice. I hate feeling guilty for a part I haven't even auditioned for. What's the thing that you're currently cast as? What's the current job, the acting role that you're currently working on?
Completely random. I'm playing a funeral director.
You're playing a funeral director in what again?
In a
In a short film or short play?
In a short film.
Short film. You're playing a funeral
I
director.
did play a butler in a play.
You've played a butler. I am not offering the role of Alfred. You don't need to sell me on it anymore. If someone comes to me and says, and I don't think this will happen, but it could. Someone comes to me and they say, Connor, you're not in the running for Alfred. We've had too many white Alfreds and you just be another one. Do you have anyone you will recommend as Alfred? I promise you I will say, yes, there's a guy. His name is Gotham. It's spelled different than, because I have a bad memory for spelling. So I'll just be like, don't spell it like the way Bruce Wayne spells it. Spell it differently. Find this actor and make him your Alfred. So you have it as far as I'm concerned. If I have anything to say about it, and I most likely do not.
Thank you.
But you're playing a funeral director right now. What's the difference in the way that you play a funeral director compared to a butler? Because to me, they both seem to have a certain level of formality, a certain level of perhaps dignity, a solemn nature. When I think of Alfred, of course, is solemn. He has this gig. His kid's parents were murdered in an alley after a show. It's a sad butler gig. There are happier, I don't know anything about butlering. I know there are happier butler gigs than the one where it's just, Master Bruce, your parents were murdered. And I am still the butler, and you are Batman. How do you play this funeral director?
As you said, very
I already called on all the key words.
Indeed, there's a lot more fluids involved. But,
Because he's involved in the embalming? I mean, there's fluids in Wayne Manor. Bruce Wayne drinks a lot. And Batman, I presume, sweats a lot in that outfit. Alfred probably is like, oh, you gotta clean the inside. That's something we haven't seen. Do we really think that millionaire Bruce Wayne cleans the inside of the Batsuit? And you have to clean the inside. You have to just clean the inside. There's no way to clean that. And I don't know of any character, there are superheroes who could do it. Superman could come over and blow inside the suit, but he's not going to do that. That's a waste of his powers. Superman's never going to come over and blow dry the inside of Batman's sweaty suit. That's an Alfred gig. Alfred's got to do that. Master Bruce, you've done it again. Sweaty. It's so wet inside the bat suit. Of course, it's damp here in the Batcave. This is just part of the gig. Just have to clean, and there's no other way to do it but by hand. Just have to clean it by hand. I don't mind, but it does make me sad. I must admit, when I became a butler, I thought it would be fun. And it has been gloomy. Right down into the sleeves. Don't want to dry out and clean the whole suit and have him put his arm through and feel that the wrist is somehow less clean than the rest of the suit, even though there's not much sweat to speak of. I know a lot about Master Wayne. I know that he does not sweat from the wrist. Or if he does, it leaves a negligible residue. Oh, I hate the Penguin. No one asks me. I guess the assumption is that we all citizens of Gotham, hate these villains. I hate the Riddler, hate the Joker. I don't mind Catwoman, but I do feel I am being sexist in the way that I don't mind Catwoman. Why do I hate the Penguin so? I can only assume there is an element, a degree of latent misogyny. Perhaps it's bred within me. Clean those thighs, both inner thighs. Oh my God, this is where Master Wayne truly does these fluids. I feel like a bloody funeral director, the amount of fluids that I deal with just cleaning the one suit. Now I've done it. I'll clean this rag so it should be ready for next adventure of Batman. mansion is clean. The bat suit is clean. The Batmobile is clean. Not the exterior, but the interior is clean. I cleaned it. No, I don't ever remember cleaning the exterior of the Batmobile. It's just not within my purview. What to do, what to do. You know, if I ever lost this job, I think I would become a funeral director. It's a dignified job, and there's certainly no shortage of dead bodies here in Gotham City. A fair share of them due to, well, no, that's not fair. Not Master Wayne's fault. Gotham is a cesspool of violence and insanity. So many criminally insane people, so many fluids. I think Gotham is an island that's surrounded by fluids. No one ever says it that way, though. You never see it. A river is a fluid. But it is, that's all it is fluids. It feels disgusting to say it that way. If you were to go to the beach and say, look at all the fluids, no one would want to go to the beach with you. I'm bored. Imagine that, Batman's butler and I am bored. It was bound to happen eventually. I hope Batman isn't dead. Oh my God. Imagine me monologuing while Master Wayne lies dead in some gutter like his parents. I would open a funeral parlor if that happened, because the death rate would go up in the absence of Batman in Gotham City. Oh, what a melancholy take on Alfred this has become. Yeah, I don't think anyone ever needs me for that role. I think it's too bleak, but you put me in that mindset, Gotham. I really like calling you by your name, Gotham, because I will admit I'm just picturing the logo for the TV series Gotham, where we just do the big letters just in Gotham, even though I know I'm spelling it wrong. How long are you currently shooting the short film where you are the funeral director? You what?
We wrapped up.
You wrapped.
Yeah.
So when I asked you if you were currently working, you lied to me.
Well, I'm also doing commercials.
All right, okay. Congratulations, you're doing much better than I am. Thank you, Gotham. Let me speak to one of the non-actors here. I can't remember where you were in the audience, but I know that there is at least one of you. One non-actor. One non-actor. I'm not ashamed to pace the rest of the show. Praise one non-actor. You're a non-actor? You're a non-actor. You willing to talk to me?
I don't know.
You don't know. Where are you from? You have a lovely accent.
From England.
Where in England? Oh, God, so I've just done my terrible Alfred accent. Were you judging me?
It was very good.
It was passable. What's your first name?
Dan.
Dan?
Yeah.
But you said Dan. Are you from the north of England or the south of England?
From the south, near London.
Near London, so you have a posh accent, would you say?
I suppose so, yeah.
I suppose so. I mean, Dan, why aren't you an actor? With that accent, you could be an actor right away. And then it's very easy, because whenever they cast British people all the time to do American accents, you just say, like, oh boy, I really want this hamburger. Can you do an American accent, Dan? Have you ever attempted, as a non-actor, to imitate an American accent?
Not in front of Americans.
Well, but I've just humbled myself in front of you. I just waxed eloquent as Alfred for several minutes. What's a word that you feel like you can say in a passable, or even, I'll take a disparaging American accent. If you have one that's sort of like, hot dog, something where you're like, this is what you sound like.
The word that comes to mind is water. Instead of, I say water, water.
Water. Say, I'd like a glass of water, please.
I'd like a glass of water.
I mean, Dan, that's excellent. I'd like a glass of water, please. What do you do, Dan? What do you do for a living?
I work in the kind of world of like TV ratings, like
TV ratings?
Yeah.
So is that at the start of the show like profanity, violence?
No, so like how many people watch?
Oh, like Nielsen
Yeah.
ratings. So not like content
No.
ratings,
Yeah.
but like how many households are watching.
Right.
Do you work for the? I'll bleep it if I've guessed right. Do you work for the Nielsen?
No.
Okay. Now we live in an age. It used to be that the way TV ratings were, and it's just primarily TV you work in.
Yeah.
Okay. It used to be that they would have these boxes that would go to households, and sometimes you get a booklet and you'd write down all the things you watched. But I never knew anyone who got one of these boxes or got one of these booklets. And I never trusted. The Nielsen ratings always felt to me like a huge guesstimate of how many people were watching what. Because they also weren't gauging like college dorms or households that had a bunch of roommates who were watching, there'd be certain shows where like, I know more people are watching this show, but they're not counting anyone in college because they were just counting like suburban households and things. But in the age of streaming, all of these companies are just, the second that it became possible to actually accurately indicate and know not only how many people are watching something, but when they start, when they stop, when they pause it, like these companies have the information now, but now it's incredibly secretive.
Yes.
They don't want to tell anything. So what do? Are you just trying to claw that information out of these different companies?
Pretty much, yeah.
You're trying to guess based on how many people are like posting on social media. Oh, they must be watching The Gilded Age because everyone's talking about The Gilded Age. So there must be millions of people watching The Gilded Age because everyone's typing about The Gilded Age. But you're still, it's like what do you do on a typical day, Dan? Who do you deal with? What's your job?
I don't know. I deal with, so I work for like the History Channel kind of group, so A&E and all of that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're trying to figure out how many people are watching the History Channel.
Yeah.
Every week, the History Channel, because the History Channel is 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
So every hour of every day that ever happens,
Yeah.
the History Channel is just showing stuff. It never sleeps. It never stops having shows. It might sometimes rerun a show, but it never stops showing shows.
Yeah.
And you never stop trying to figure out how many people are watching those shows on any given night or day.
Yeah.
Yeah? How do you find this out, Dan? How do you find out who's watching the History Channel?
So yeah, we work like we get the data from Nielsen and all of these people.
Okay, so Nielsen's still around. Nielsen's got these boxes and these booklets.
Yeah.
So you're going around from house to house. You're contacting the people trying to find out from Nielsen who says they're watching the History Channel. Now, I would imagine a lot of people say they watch the History Channel, but they don't because they want to sound smart. I remember I once saw Chevy Chase on TV, and he was talking about how he doesn't own a TV. No, he does, but he only watches the Discovery Channel and the History Channel. And I thought, you're a liar, Chevy Chase. You just want to sound smart. You watch a bunch of dumb shit, too. Because if Chevy Chase is only watching smart stuff, I have a lot of questions. So you're getting data from companies.
Yeah.
You're searching on social media to see what people are talking about. Where someone's like, I just watched a program about World War II on the History Channel.
Yeah, bit of that as well. And yeah, like you say, all of the kind of Netflix, all the streaming stuff, we get very little of that data, so there's like, not good ways of getting that, I guess.
But the History Channel is cable,
Yes.
right? So you don't need streaming numbers excepting to compare, right?
Yeah, more stuff goes on streaming afterwards, it sells to...
Gotcha. So there's some History Channel programs that stream on various things, and those companies won't tell you how many people are watching, even though they know.
Yeah.
What's the most confrontational conversation that you have, Dan, in your job? Do you ever have to talk to someone, a streamer, and say, look, we need to know. We need to know. Just tell us how many people watch the show about Hitler. We need to know. Do you ever have that conversation?
No, because we know it's a no.
You know it's a no. Because other people before you had the conversation. So what's the most confrontational conversation that you have in your job? The conversation that you dread? Or is it a constant stream of delights?
I guess it's people within the company expecting those kind of ratings for these shows.
Mhm.
And it's like, we can't get that kind of thing.
I won't ask you to name. I'm just going to say that there's a guy that you work with named Andrew. I hope that I freaked you out. I hope there is a guy named Andrew. What the fuck is this show? Damn! Andy needs those numbers. I don't even know how many people watch our show. All right? Now we aired the movie Dirty Harry on the History Channel, and we peppered it with interstitial segments about how this showed the way San Francisco was in the 1970s. Barely historic in terms of programming. And we got a pretty nice number, I think. But I have no way of knowing. Now, that doesn't stream. You know this, Dan, better than I. That just shows on the channel because we don't have the streaming rights to Dirty Harry. It's a motion picture. We obviously own the interstitial content, but it's not a History Channel original. I need to know, Dan. I need to know how those History Channel originals are doing. We put a lot of money into those originals, and we put them out and we stream them. And I know those streamers know how many people are watching. And I need you to be a little more confrontational, Dan. I really do. We hired you because you have an intimidating voice. All right, I can't get on the phone and be like, hey, give us the numbers. I need you, Dan. I need you to tell people. I need you to get on the phone, get on the horn. Was that what you called it? You call it the horn in England? I don't know you. I know you call televisions telly, but I don't think you call telephones telly. I'm right about that, aren't I, Dan? You call the television the telly, and the telephone not the telly. I'm sure there's a rich history for that. Maybe we should do a show about it. If we had the money. And the only way we get the money is we find out the numbers. I need to know how many people are watching those shows, Dan. I need you to fancy up that British accent of yours. Maybe you make it a little tough. One of those tough London accents. I know people talk like this. Can you, Dan, would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to get on the phone? And because you have a lovely accent, but now I'm worrying that it's maybe a little bit too genteel, and maybe we need you to sound like more of a street tough, you know, someone who can say like, you better give us those fucking numbers. You better give us those fucking numbers. All right, streamer. Oh, hold on. All right, streamer. Your time is up enough. Break your fucking legs. If you don't tell me those fucking numbers. Tell me those fucking numbers. Or you'll be history. I tell you the truth. You better give up those numbers by, well, let's say a fortnight from now. That's 2 weeks, and you and I both know. I need to know how many people are watching. I need to know when they started and when they stopped. If you can, why they stopped, that would be helpful. That would be bloody helpful. If we knew why they started watching and then why they stopped. That's the kind of information my boss, Andrew, or as I call him behind his back, Sir Andy. That's a secret between you and I, mate. You give me those numbers, and then we'll be all right. All right, we'll be friends then, see? I'll come back every week, you give me those numbers, and everything will be hunky-dory. That's something you would say, Dan? Would you ever say that, Dan? Would you ever say hunky-dory? Probably not. Dan, what's... Help me out here, Dan. What's the thing you would say? That's it. That's not like something a Yank would say. Something you would say. It'll be all right. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
You say that? Bob's your uncle?
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle. You got to What's that? Give me an exclusive, Dan. What's something you would say if you were being tough? You try to get those numbers. Let's say this is a... What's one of the streamers that's got History Channel content? Does Crackle have it? Peacock? What do they got? Netflix?
Yeah, say Netflix.
Someone at Netflix. All right, Ted. All right, so that's all. All right, Ted. Teddy boy. I need you to tell me those numbers. I need you to tell me something that's either really tough sounding or really nice sounding. A little bit of something that would only be said in jolly old England.
Lovely jubbly.
All right, it would be lovely jubbly, wouldn't we? That's right, Ted. That's right, Ted. You give ourselves numbers and then we'll be lovely jubbly. By the way, Ted, wouldn't mind seeing a season of Love on the Spectrum that's set in the UK. The Aussie one's nice, the American one's fine, but I really, we've got people on the spectrum. They fall in love. I mean, I know this is a bit out of my line, but I think people will watch. I really do. I really do. Be like, oh, here's Nicholas, and he hates spiders, but he loves biscuits. And he's going to meet up with Angela, and she hates knock-knock jokes, but she loves, I don't know, tea. I mean, you come up with the shows, I'm just a numbers guy, Ted. It's all I've ever been. All about the data. All right, I'll see myself out. Ted, surround house. Dan, is that helpful to you? No, don't. Unless those claps are for Dan, I don't want them.
Yes, so helpful.
Thank you for what you do, Dan, trying to find out how many people are watching the History Channel. I feel like it's important. Do you feel like you have an important job?
Less and less each year.
Less and less each year. Well, I think that's the way it's supposed to feel. That's, I think, the way life is supposed to feel. Just less and less each year. That's beautiful in its own sad way. All right, I want to talk. I don't think we have any other non-actors who are willing to talk to me. Certainly not after that. I'd like to talk to an actor who maybe hasn't worked in a while. Maybe a frustrated actor, someone who's like, what is going on? Like, why can't I catch a break? Is there any actor who feels like they're not on a lucky streak right now, that things are not going their way? Everyone here is on a hot streak? Okay, I guess that's why I was like, let's just sit back and enjoy this. Let's just sit back and watch the show because things are going great. Okay, so who's on a hot streak? Who really feels like things are going really well? Or are we all somewhere in the middle? We all somewhere where we're all just what, baby bear. We're all just like, just right. Not too hot, not too cold. Who's someone who started acting at a very young age? Yes. You started acting at a very young age. What's your first name?
Oliver.
Oliver. That was the first play I was ever in.
Wow, lovely.
Were you ever in a production of Oliver?
I was in like a it was like a very strange production where all the kids played all the parts.
Okay, I don't think that's so strange.
Well, no, like the part of Oliver was divvied up amongst like 16 children.
16 children played Oliver? That is unusual.
It was, yeah.
So you just go like, where in love? Like, it's a syllable?
It wasn't that far off. Like every song was like split up between.
All right, so you're in just sort of like a hive mind Oliver, where we are all Oliver. Were all the parts like that? It was all done sort of like collectively, like we are London.
It was supposed to be like egalitarian, where everyone was like some ensemble, some.
Yes, it was supposed to be egalitarian. That is not what acting is all about. At least not in the professional industry. Usually, you don't find that kind of. So was it in a school production?
No, it was like a summer program.
A summer program, and people were trying to be fair. Give a little bit to everybody. What's the most recent thing you've acted in, Oliver?
I think I did Noises Off.
You think?
I think that's the last thing I did that was
Okay.
not substantial at all. Where I was just like standing in the background of a French short film.
Right. So recently you've been doing less substantial work, but
Yeah,
that was
I
the last meaty role that you had. And what was the character in Noises Off? What was the character you played?
I think it was Tim. It was the one like non-actor.
I barely remember. I've seen Noises Off, but I don't remember anyone by name in it.
Well,
So what does Tim do?
He's like the one character in the show who's not an actor.
Okay.
He is.
You're an actor playing a non-actor in a play full of actors playing actors. How did you do this, Oliver? How did you approach it? How did you feel you found the core of this character of Tim, the civilian
It was when I got like props. I felt
When you
like-
got your props, you work from the physical angle. You work from a place of like, I don't know who my character is, but now I do. Now I do. Now I know exactly who this character is. See, my character, he carries this large chair around with him. And that's how you know. And look, and there's a hair stuck in the chair. And then we use this to clone another human being. The DNA strand from this. That's why this, I mean, now I'm veering off the noises off because I'm inspired by the character work. We're veering away, you see, this approach of you find your object and then you find your character through the object. Sometimes you find the text of the entire production. Just for this moment of, I was examining this chair, I found I presume a human hair. Some would be disgusted by this, but I'm fascinated by it. I take it back to my laboratory. I run a few tests, a few basic tests, and I find it is indeed a human hair, and it was connected to a murder. This is not the hair I set down. This is a longer hair. I set down a small hair that I have lost. I set it down. I can't find it. I know it's not this hair. I think the first hair was the hair of our murder victim. I think this hair is the hair of the killer, the murderer. One thing, it's longer. I think our killer liked to luxuriate, liked to grow his hair long. Yes, it was a man, a male killer. The victim was also a man. This is a man-on-man crime. I think we can learn a lot from this long, flowing strand of human hair. I think our killer did not have time to maintain a consistent look. He would get a haircut once, maybe twice a year, if that, preferring to focus on his true passion, murder. You see, there are some killers who will find the time to go to a barber shop or a hair salon. Give me the usual, they'll say. What can it hurt? It's a half hour, 45 minutes out of their day if they're not doing something fancy like a coloring or a cleaning. But this killer, no. This killer would set foot inside one of these establishments only rarely, perhaps once every 2 years. That's what I'm gathering from the length of this hair. I don't think his hair grew fast. I think he had a slow metabolism. Does that have anything to do with the speed at which hair grows out of a human head? Maybe not. But I put it to you that I think our killer's hair grew at a snail's pace. And I think the last time he cut his hair was in late COVID, early Biden. My apologies to those people who are still focused on the occasional outbreaks of pandemic that we all went through. It hasn't ever fully gone away, and perhaps it never will. But our killer will. When he's done with his killing. For he has a timeline. A date certain at which he has convinced himself that he will no longer commit these murders, having gotten away with so many. Yes, double-digit killings. I'm gleaning all of this from one single strand of hair. Our killer has killed into the double digits, but he will end at 99 before entering a triple-digit phase, at which point he knows he will surely be caught. For to kill 100 people, this cannot stand. A killer who kills 100 people in our society, no. Our leaders would move heaven and earth to find out the identity of this person and stop them, because it is a shame. It is an embarrassment to have allowed a human being to take 100 human lives, all on their own, for he does work alone. I don't mean to say that he has no friends. Yes, he has friends, acquaintances, co-workers, even unwitting accomplices. But he works alone. I don't need this anymore. I know everything I need to know about our killer. And I'm embarrassed to say, he has been living under my roof. It is my roommate, with whom I am not friendly. The pattern of behavior he has exhibited as my roommate since taking on the lease 6 months ago. Co-signing with me to live in this apartment because I cannot afford a 2-bedroom apartment in this city on my own, for I am not a professional detective or a member of the police force. I solve crimes as a hobby. I'm a bit of a poor man's Bruce Wayne, a vigilante. And like Bruce Wayne, I find myself entangled with people who are up to no good without even realizing it. Friends with people whose alter egos are criminally insane, like my roommate Chad. Now, I don't know if Chad kills as Chad or if he assumes another identity as I do at night. No, I am not Batman. Bruce Wayne is Batman. I don't know if you heard, Bruce Wayne is Batman. Does everyone know this? Bruce Wayne really is Batman? No, I have a much simpler alter ego. My name is Oliver Twist, and I was born an orphan in England. I was one of 16 orphans, all named Oliver Twist. That's the name they gave all of us at the orphanage. It was Mr. Bumble's orphanage. And believe me, he lived up to his name. Mr. Bumble was truly incompetent. The way he ran that orphanage, the way he ran that kitchen was embarrassing. And they would assign all of us the same name because they thought it made it easier. But it did give us a sense that we all had our part to play in the orphanage growing up. We were all Oliver Twist. I was Oliver Twist, as were the 15 other boys who lived there during my time in the orphanage. And of course, there are aspects of this life in the orphanage that have twisted my own psyche to the point where I fear I am incapable of sustaining normal human relationships. And so I seek out those people who have broken society's norms, such as our murderer, Chad, who lives with me, who I think is the 99 Strangler. That's what they call him because he's killed 99 people. But this hair, this strand of hair, would bring him up to 100, at which point I would be able to get my friends on Gotham PD to help me out to solve this case. What a life. If only I had a butler to help me. But I don't, and I never shall, because, well, you just reach a point in your life where you realize that's not happening. It's not in the cards for you. There is an age, I think it's 50, where if you haven't had a butler, the odds of you ever getting a butler shrink to almost zero. I think at 40 you still have a chance of at some point living the butler lifestyle. But I think once you get to 50 or 51, I think it's over. I think by 51 you know it. Like maybe at 50 something happens where you're like, oh, half a century. Now you can have a butler. But at 51, those days are just over. Oliver, was this in any way like the production?
Not very similar, no. Unfortunately.
I want to talk to one more actor here. Someone who truly gets the most pleasure in their life from acting. Is there anyone here where acting is their favorite thing to do in life? Yes, you did not hesitate. Acting is your favorite thing to do in life.
Yes.
What's your first name?
Will.
Will.
Yeah.
Right, it's a verb, it's a noun, it's a name. Will. Is it short for William?
Yeah.
William, that's my middle name. So we have that in common. Will, you tell me what you like about acting.
I like, this is bad because I'm an improvisation. I like that I know what's going to happen.
You like when you know what's going to happen. So you like when you get your text.
Yeah.
And you find out, oh, I'm going to be this person, and this person is going to say that.
Yeah.
And then you learn that thing, and then you pretend to think of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you like doing it again and again. So what's a line that you've enjoyed saying as an actor? Is there any line that sticks in your head when I ask you that question? What's a line that you have enjoyed acting?
I was in a production of The Crucible.
You were in a production of The Crucible. And what's something, you can paraphrase, because you're not in the production now. So you're under no obligation to remember your lines once the production is over. what's a thing that you said that you really enjoyed acting in the Crucible? Because it's a very heavy production. It's a very heavy play.
It's not a heavy line. I said, I think it's because of the cows, sir.
I think it's because of the cows, sir. And refresh my memory, because I don't remember the cow plot in the Crucible.
For sure.
It's been so long since I've seen or read it.
Yeah.
What was the context of, I think it's because of the cows.
Yeah. I had a very small part. I was Ezekiel Cheever.
Ezekiel Cheever.
He's like a court, I don't know if stenographer is the right word. He's like a court, he like writes down what's happening.
Yes, that's a stenographer. But he's
Yeah.
an officer of the court, and he pipes up at, I'm assuming, a key moment.
No.
Not a key moment.
No, it's just,
In what way not a key moment, Will?
well, they were having like an argument about, it was so long ago.
Mhm.
But it was some kind of argument where they were like talking about the amount of money they had in the town, at least. And I was like, I think there's something about the cows.
I think it's because of the cows, sir.
I like it because it makes no sense by that.
You felt like it was a non sequitur. They never explained that this money could be. I think it's because of the cows, sir. So they're talking about money. A lot of that play is about the devil's work. But at one point, at one minor moment, the cows are given the blame for some small amount of success or failure in the town. I think it's because of the cows, sir. I mean, we're blaming the women. We're blaming the women, and we always do that. Like, this is our pattern and now that things are really coming to a head, now that we feel that the devil has entered our town, that there is true evil here, we are once again, sir, blaming the women. And I notice there's someone that we never point the blame at, and that's the cows. I feel like if there is any source of true darkness in our town, it has to do with these cows, because, I mean, look at how we treat them. We milk them and we slaughter them. They have more motive than any woman in this town to bring about a swell of true evil, because I don't think any of us truly understand the mind of a cow, sir. I mean, would you confess to understanding the mind of a cow? I wouldn't. I don't know what they're thinking. When I look at a cow, I feel like I get nothing back. I've spoken to cows, sir. I don't know why, but I have done it. Perhaps in fits of whimsy or on a night when I may have imbibed too much alcohol. I have spoken to cows, and I have found those conversations to be both one-sided and wanting. I feel I have some insight in this area. I've grown up around cows. I've never felt entirely comfortable around them. Now, this is also true of women. I have grown up around women as well, but there is an element to which I believe that women are truly human, and I do not believe this about cattle. If there's one thing I feel confident about, it's that cows, whatever they may be, they are not human. I think this is one sentiment that we can all agree on. I don't think there's a single person in this town who believes that cows are human. Speak for yourself. You may presume to know the mind of every man, woman, and child in this town of Salem, Massachusetts. But I believe the cows are human. You ever meet someone who you think's a little slow, and then you find out that they're playing it up, acting a little slow so they can get the advantage on everyone around them? I've met this kind of person on more than one occasion. Act a little slow, live a little fast. You always have the upper hand. I believe these cows are people. I believe they're smarter than we give them credit for. And I believe they are incongruous with the devil himself. I think they allow us to do certain things, to take certain liberties, to grab at the udder to take their milk. The milk is designed for their young, but we drink it up with pleasure. To chop them up, to eat their meat. I think they allow this to happen because they are playing a long game, because they are in league with Satan himself. Now, when one is in league with Satan himself, one does not announce that this is not smart play. Well, there is a hierarchy to our universe, and I do believe there is a God in heaven who is all-powerful, all-merciful, almighty. I praise him every day. But I do believe he takes time off every now and then and is not paying attention to matters here on earth. And I think in those moments, that is when the devil takes his shot. I think that's when the devil does his dirty business. And I think the devil has partnered with every head of cattle in our town, indeed maybe in our country or on this fine planet. Look a cow in the eye and ask them, do you know the devil? Do this, I beg of you. Go out to any field, any day of the week. Walk right up to any cow you see or any bull. Look them right in the eye and ask, you tell me true, are you in league with the devil? They will never deny it. Not once. They will never deny it, for it is true, and I believe this. I believe this to be the cow's fault, sir. I'll say it now and I'll say it again. I believe this to be the cow's fault. I think we are burning some innocent women and executing some innocent men because we have underestimated the source of our meat and our milk. Because that is what we think of them as benevolent creatures, and they're not benevolent. They're not one bit benevolent. They are in league with Beelzebub himself. Anyway, back to whatever you all were doing. I want to talk to one more actor. Is there an actor who's currently in any kind of stage play, stage production, anywhere? Or has been in a stage production within the last year? Anywhere at all? No? Gotham again. Gotham. I truly believe that the next time we meet, I will be playing a smaller role than Alfred in a Batman. You will be playing Alfred. And that is the next time you and I will talk. We'll be on the set of a Batman.
Love it.
Has anyone done a commercial in the past 2 years? Anyone acted in a commercial? Anyone other than Gotham in a commercial in the past 2 years who's willing to share their experience? Because I recently acted in a commercial, which I believe will start airing sometime soon, and you might end up seeing it somewhere. You might know this. Anyone here know in a commercial? I gotta find the right question to open up the few remaining actors who are in the audience. Yes, you have a question for me? You were sort of in a commercial. Is this in the same way that Gotham sort of has a butler? What was the thing that's sort of a commercial?
I was working in an audio post studio as a producer, but they needed someone's voice to be in the background.
You were working in an audio post house.
Yeah.
And they were working on a commercial.
Yeah.
And they needed a background voice.
Yeah.
And you were the background voice. What kind of product was the commercial for?
It was some kind of chip product.
A chip like we eat, or a chip like in a computer? All right, so like a Frito or a Dorito or a Ruffle or a Pringle or a Lay. So it was for a snack chip.
Yeah.
And paint me a picture of the scene in this commercial. It's an audio format commercial.
It was a visual commercial.
It was a visual commercial, but you were working on the audio for it. So paint me the scene of what's in the commercial.
It's like a grocery store.
A grocery store.
Yeah. And I said, clean up on aisle 7 or something.
Clean up on aisle 7.
Just over the speaker.
Over the speaker. So they had their main action. But clean up on aisle 7. And in the commercial, do we know what the cleanup is? Is it related to the main action?
That was just
Or
to set
it's a
the
side
scene.
story. That's how you know it's a real functioning grocery store. Because there's always a cleanup on aisle whatever. Like sometimes it's a cleanup on aisle 3. Cleanup on aisle 7 feels like the iconic, perhaps the definitive version. Like this, if Shakespeare had written a grocery store play, surely he would have been the one to say yes, clean up on aisle 7. It feels like the iconic aisle. It's a lucky number. Clean up on aisle 7. Now it's not the main story, but you play a person who works at this grocery store, and there's a mess in aisle 7. And it's not your job to clean it up, but it's your job to tell people that there's a mess on aisle 7. So you're at some sort of device. Your character, did you have a backstory for your character? Like what you thought the cleanup was for? Or did you just do an all-purpose approach?
I did an all-purpose approach, but I did get the direction to make it like very cheery.
Cheery. So it's someone who's like, oh, you know, someone made a mess in aisle 7. That's what life is. Like, life is a mess. Like, if you don't embrace the mess of life, then what are we doing here? You know, like, you're never, you know, you can clean it up. This is the thing I always say. You can clean it up on aisle 7, but aisle 7 will get messy again because that's what life is all about. Life, we are born into this world and it's a mess. We were born, whether it's a natural birth or a cesarean. How messy? Like, it's the messiest thing there is. You know, like, a lot of women will, like, void their bowels during childbirth. It's messy. It's just something that happens. Clean up on aisle 7. Like, that's just like a way to approach life. So anyway, I actually really do have to consider that. Clean up on aisle 7. Oh, God. Well, I hope that Jake has kind of a bad attitude. And I imagine based on the shift calendar, based on the zone that Jake has been assigned today by our manager who's new. We had an old manager here for years who was just a real sweetheart. And we have this new manager that's been a bit of an adjustment. But I think Jake has drawn the short straw today. Zone 3 contains aisle 7, and Jake is in zone 3. And so Jake will be doing the cleanup. Oh, shit. Shit. Another bad day from Jake. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Oh. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Oh, my God. Clean up on aisle 7. Jesus Christ. I don't even know how I'm going to start cleaning up 2 human bodies that have been murdered. Clean up on aisle 7. This is more than just a grocery store mess. This isn't someone knocked over a glass jar of pasta sauce, which is its own problem because you have to clean up the sauce, but the sauce has like shards of glass. So the main priority is like, you can't see where the shards are, so you just have to assume it's all shards, even though it's mostly sauce. The sauce is hiding where the shards are, and when you cut yourself, you bleed. It goes right into the sauce, and you can't even tell how much you're bleeding because her blood is roughly the same color as the sauce in most cases. Hopefully, a different texture. All right, God help the man or woman whose texture of blood matches that of your average traditional pasta sauce, be it chunky or regular. It should be thinner and browner, if we're being honest. Like, when you really see it, it should be browner. Anyway, I think they should have called the police. I don't think I should be the first responder in this instance. I actually think it might be a felony for me to do a cleanup on aisle 7. God, they look like they knew each other. Oh God, they're kissing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Does that mean they were murdered while kissing? Or did the murderer stage a romantic tableau? Oh my God, I hate working at the grocery store. This is terrible. This is terrifying. Like, who would ever shop here again? Which again is probably why they want to clean up on aisle 7. This is the kind of thing that even if you keep shopping at the store, because let's be honest, without the store, this whole area is a food desert. This is where everyone in the area gets
their food. So most people, even if they don't ever want to return to aisle 7, even if they feel like, I saw those dead bodies, I saw those people were murdered. Most people will return to aisles 1 through 6 and 8 through 13, which I cannot tell you what a bad idea it is to have 13 aisles in a grocery store. I mean, when people make a building, they will label the 14th floor the 15th floor, just so the 13th floor is the 14th floor. And they'll go from 12 to 14, even though everyone knows the 14th floor is the 13th floor. We're not fooling anybody. But they'll open up a grocery store and have 13 aisles, when you could just make the aisles a little bigger and have 12, or make them a little leaner and have 13. Or even just do it the way the buildings do it. Just label it aisle 14. Oh my God. Biggest regret of my life is that when the manager spot opened up, I didn't apply. So I didn't think I'd have a chance. I didn't think I'd have a chance at it. I thought they're not going to consider Jake to be the manager. Well, he'd been here a year and a half. That would have been the first thing I would have done. I would have taken that sign that says aisle 13, changed it to 14, or get rid of the aisle altogether. Like, why tempt it? Just have 12 aisles. You can do a grocery store with 12 aisles. You just sell a few less things, make a few more displays with the extra space you have. Make one of the aisles really big, put a display right in the middle, have like a little thing like that. Like, that's fine. Oh my God, what am I going to do about these corpses? I do think if I move the bodies, when the police get here, I'll be the first person they talk to. And then I'll be a suspect, and then if they don't find anybody, the police will feel obligated to see that someone pays for what I can only assume are bodies number 100 and 101. Jesus Christ, the newspapers are going to have a field day with 101. Something rhymes with Dalmatians, but it's murder related. What rhymes with Dalmatian? Nothing? That can't be. Dalmatian, 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 Calmation, Dalmatian. I mean, you can slant rhyme it, but I'm not seeing a pure rhyme. Do you have a rhyme for Dalmatian? Dalmatian, Dalmatian. You waved like you maybe had a rhyme for Dalmatian. Dalmatian. Salvation. It's close enough. You know what? I'll take it. But they're not going to run with that. 101 Salvation sounds like you're in favor of the murders. Anyway. Cremation. 101 cremations. Gotham, you did it. Oh, Gotham's friend. What's your first name?
Nate.
Nate. Yeah. Thank you, Nate. 101 cremations. And there you have it. There you have it. I want to thank everyone for braving the weather tonight, for coming out here. I hope a few people learned some lessons about life, about acting, about the way that we behave, about the way that we can turn even the smallest of roles into something much bigger and grander, about our goals for the future, about our joy in acting, and about the way that history teaches us how many people are watching a show. Thank you very much. Class dismissed.
Richard.
All right, stream action.